I invited the man I was having an affair with into my marriage. Not secretly, not behind my husband's back, but right to his face. I believed he'd understand. I believed love could stretch, bend, evolve. What happened instead tore our lives apart in a way I never imagined. And now, even after everything, he still calls sometimes, just to say he misses me, just to remind me what I destroyed. It started 2 years ago at a sleek downtown marketing firm, the kind of place where everything looks polished and no one sleeps. My husband Eric and I both worked there. He in digital strategy, I was in creative. We'd been married for 9 years. And our life together? It wasn't broken, it just settled, comfortable in a way that felt more like sedation than peace. We become a pair of calendar appointments. Wake, work, eat, sleep, rinse and repeat. I still loved him, or I thought I did. But love, when it starts fading, doesn't scream. It whispers. And sometimes it simply goes quiet. Then came Mateo. Mateo didn't walk into a room. He arrived. Charisma in human form. Everything about him was effortless, magnetic. He was sharp, bold, the kind of man who made eye contact like he was reading your thoughts, and maybe improving them. We started working on projects together. Long brainstorming sessions turned into late-night pitch meetings. A spark I hadn't felt in years began to flicker to life again. I told myself it was innocent, a friendship, a harmless crush, a reminder that I was still desirable, still seen. Eric liked him too. They got along. That made it easier to pretend nothing was happening. We even grabbed drinks, the three of us, after work. Mateo and Eric laughing, me sipping wine, playing the good wife with a loaded heart. But tension builds in silence. We didn't cross the line immediately. We danced near it, eyes lingering, fingers brushing, inside jokes that stayed just on the edge of inappropriate. The night it happened, we were alone. The office was empty. The pitch had gone well. Half-drunk glasses of red wine sat forgotten on the desk. He leaned in slowly, like he was giving me time to say no. I didn't. I kissed him like I'd been drowning for years, and he was the first breath of air. Then I went home and curled into Eric's arms like nothing had changed. But everything had, and I didn't stop. What followed was months of deception dressed as liberation. Secret hotel rooms. Lunch breaks that were never about food. Hidden texts that buzz in the dark. And all the while, I played the wife at home, the part I'd memorized for years. Mateo began pushing for more. "Why are we hiding?" he asked. "Why can't we make this real?" He spoke like a visionary, like someone rewriting the rules of love. "Eric would understand," he said. "If he really loved you, he'd want your happiness, even if that meant sharing you." At first, I laughed. Then I started reading. Articles on polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, open marriage, new definitions of commitment. I started to believe it wasn't betrayal. It was evolution, love redefined. Mateo said he'd even talked to Eric with me. He truly believed this could work, that we could all coexist, a triad of progressive love. I convinced myself he was right, that we weren't being selfish, we were being brave. One quiet Sunday morning, Eric sat reading the news on his tablet, sipping coffee like any other day, and I ruined everything. "I need to talk to you," I said. I told him everything. The affair, the idea of opening our marriage, that I still loved him, but I needed more, that maybe we could find a new way, together. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He just blinked and put the tablet down, like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Then he laughed, just a single hollow sound that didn't touch his eyes. "Is this real?" he asked. "How long?" I didn't lie. I gave him the full truth, raw and painful. And he listened, silent and still. Then he stood and walked out of the house. 3 hours later, he returned, calm, unnervingly so. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Okay, invite him over." I froze. "What?" "Invite him," he repeated. "Let's talk." It felt like a trap, but Mateo was hopeful. He saw it as a breakthrough. The next evening, Mateo came to the house. Eric poured whiskey. Mateo spoke gently, trying to ease into it. This isn't about replacing you, Eric. There's enough love to go around. Eric just nodded slowly, his face unreadable. Then suddenly, he turned to me and asked, "How long did you think you could lie to me and still call it honesty?" I had no answer. He looked at Mateo next. "You think you're enlightened? You crept into my life, slept with my wife, and now you want my gratitude." "It's not like that," Mateo said. Eric stood, not angry, just done. "I brought you into my home. I trusted you, and you thanked me by tearing it apart." Then he looked at me with eyes that no longer held affection, only finality. "I don't share. I don't beg. And I don't rebuild what someone else decided to burn." And then he walked away, not just from the room, but from the marriage. From me. The divorce papers arrived 2 weeks later. Clean, cold, no fight, just an end. Mateo and I tried for a while, but without the thrill of secrecy, it all crumbled. What felt magnetic in the shadows lost its pull in the daylight. He left. We ended faster than we began. Now I live alone. The silence in my apartment, louder than any argument we never had. Every now and then, Eric calls, just to say he misses me. Then he hangs up before I can answer. And every time it tears through me, because I miss him too. But missing someone doesn't reverse the damage, doesn't restore the trust one shattered. I thought I was being progressive, bold, that I was expanding the definition of love. But I was just rebranding betrayal in nicer language, trying to make it palatable. I thought Eric would accept it, because I needed him to, but he didn't. He walked away. And maybe that was the bravest thing any of us did, because love, real love, can stretch, yes, but not when it's built on broken truths, not when it's manipulated, and certainly not when it's forced to carry the weight of choices someone else made without asking. In the end, I learned the hard way. You can't keep everything without losing something. And sometimes once trust is gone, love simply isn't enough.